My sister was 21. She was 6 months with child. She walked the rooftops for 5 nights with a bag of salt. The village said the entity took her on the 6th. I was 8 years old. I saw what I saw from the doorway. I am 67. I am not sure she did not become it. The cylinder is turning. The young woman from the bureau is writing. The salt bag is on the table between us. My sister Maria walked the rooftops with this bag for 5 nights. She did not return on the 6th. I was 8 years old in the doorway. I saw what I saw. The village said the entity took her. The padre said she was a martyr of the barrio. I am 67 now. My mother gave me this salt bag on the morning after. I have carried it for 58 years. I have not opened it. I have not needed to. What is inside is not the answer. What is inside is only the question I came here to leave. Tipolo was a hilltop barrio in the Cebu Hills. 31 households. 2 wells. 1 chapel. We were a Spanish colonial village in the year 1893. We grew rice and abaca on the lower terraces. We knew the names of all our dead. We also knew the names of the disappeared. In my mother's generation, 3 pregnant women had gone. In her mother's generation, 4 more. Each time the village said the same thing. The Manananggal had taken her through the roof. No body was ever found. No grave was ever dug. The padre baptized the unborn infant in absentia. The household closed. The village mourned. The matter ended. We were Visayan. We knew the entity was real. Our great-grandmothers had taught us the shape of the night. The lower half left behind. The upper half on bat wings. The long tongue through the thatch above a sleeping woman. Liling was our village healer. She was old when I was born. She had buried 3 of her own. She knew the salt bag and the iron prayer. She knew the older words the padre had told us to forget. My sister Maria married Tomas Vergara in 1891. Tomas was the son of a cacique family. I did not know that word until I was older. It meant only that they had a tile roof. It meant only that Tomas had been to Cebu City twice. Maria was happy. Maria was kind. Maria was 21. In late February of 1893, Liling came to our house. She spoke with Maria alone in the courtyard. I was 8. I did not hear what was said. I saw only my sister's face when Liling left. After that night, Maria began to keep watch on the rooftops. The 5 nights began the first week of March. Maria did not tell our parents. She did not tell me. I learned the pattern because I was 8 and curious. She would put me to bed at the usual hour. She would sit by the window until my breathing slowed. Then she would leave through the back door of our hut. She wore a dark shawl and the iron salt bag at her hip. She returned before the first cock crow. On the second night I followed her with my eyes. I saw her climb the bamboo ladder to our roof. I saw her walk to the edge and stand. She looked across the barrio toward the eastern huts. She did not move for a long time. Then she walked the ridge of the next house. And the next. And the next. There were 4 other pregnant women in Tipolo that spring. Esperanza in the southern row. Carmencita beside the chapel. Felisa near the second well. Ines at the eastern edge. Ines was 16 years old. She was unmarried. Her uncle had brought her to Tipolo from another barrio. She lived alone in a small nipa hut at the eastern fence. Maria walked above the roofs of all four. She stood longest above the roof of Ines. On the fifth night I asked her where she went. She told me she was watching for the entity. She told me the salt bag was the old protection. She told me Liling had taught her the prayer. She told me not to follow her. She told me she would come back. She told me to remember the iron and the salt. I asked her what she was protecting. She put her hand on her own belly. She did not say the names of the others. She did not say her own. She said only one thing more. She gave me one last instruction. If I heard her voice in the night, stay in the doorway. Do not come out. I should watch and remember. I should know what I saw. The sixth night was the 17th of March. I remember because Liling had passed our door at dusk. She had brought a small linen wrap to Maria. She had spoken 3 sentences I did not understand. She had left without looking at me. Maria put me to bed at the usual hour. I did not sleep. I listened to her breathing at the window. I heard her open the back door. I heard her close it. I waited a count of 100. Then I got up and went to the front doorway. The barrio was quiet. The moon was nearly full. I could see the eastern fence from where I stood. I could see the nipa hut of Ines at the edge. 2 men I did not know were walking toward the eastern hut. They were not from Tipolo. They wore dark coats. They walked the way men walk when they have business. They did not look up at the rooftops. Then I saw my sister. She was standing on the ridge of the hut beside Ines's. The iron salt bag was open in her hand. Her shawl was thrown back. She was looking down at the 2 men. What I saw next I cannot describe in one sentence. The roof of Ines's hut tore open. There was a single flash of pale light. It was not lightning. It was not lamplight. It was the color of an iron blade in a forge. I heard my sister's voice once. She said my name. She said it in a register I had never heard her use. She said Pablo. She said it once. Then there was no more sound. I stayed in the doorway as she had told me. I watched. I remembered. I knew what I saw. At dawn the village found the 2 strangers beside the fence. The iron salt bag was on the ground between them. Their hands were closed around something that was no longer there. The palm flesh had burn-shaped depressions. Ines was alive in her hut. Her child would be born in May. Maria was not in our household at dawn. Maria was not in any household after that morning. Padre Salvador came to our hut before noon. He told my parents the Manananggal had taken her. He told them she had been protecting Ines. He told them she was a martyr of the barrio. He told them this was a tragic irony. He told them she would be remembered. He did not mention the 2 strangers. The young woman from the bureau slides a folder across the table. She does not speak. She is letting me see it first. I open it. The first page is a copy. It is from the parish register of San Antonio de Tipolo. The dates are 1882 through 1894. There are 11 entries marked stillborn. I know what each of the 11 mothers looked like. I know none of them were carrying a stillborn child. The first finding. The padre signed every entry himself. The padre was Eulogio Salvador. The same padre who came to our hut on the 18th. The second finding. There were 3 families who paid the parish each year. More than the others. More than tithes. The Almonte. The Mercado. I read the 3rd name. I cannot say it for a minute. The 3rd was Vergara. The Vergara was my sister's father-in-law. The household she married into in 1891. The household I shared a name with through her marriage. The third finding. There is a manila receipt in the back of the folder. It is dated April of 1893. It is for a wet nurse contract. The amount is 180 pesos. The signature is a Calle del Rosario address near Binondo. The receiving party is Almonte y Vergara. The delivered party is a 16-year-old girl from a Cebu barrio. She was not delivered. The contract was never executed. The receipt is the only record of what would have happened. I close the folder. The bureau woman waits. The entity was real. I do not deny what we are. The Manananggal is in our blood. But the Manananggal had not taken the 11 women. The 3 families and the padre had taken them. The Manananggal was not the thing I had been taught to fear. The Manananggal had been put between me. Between me and what I should have been seeing. I learned the third finding by accident. It was 1907. I was 22. I was at the Tipolo market with my new wife. Carmen was buying salted fish. Liling was at the next stall. She was old then. She did not see me. She was speaking with another woman. I do not remember the other woman's name. Liling said a sentence I was not meant to hear. She said Maria did not die that night. She said Maria finished what she had gone up to do. She said it once. The other woman nodded. Liling moved on to a stall further down. I did not ask Liling to repeat the sentence. I did not ask her what it meant. I did not tell Carmen what I had heard. I had 3 reasons. I have carried them my whole life. The first. Carmen was the younger sister of Ines. Ines had been spared on the 6th night. Ines had grown up. Ines had married a fisherman. Ines was now 30 years old and a mother of 2. To speak the sentence was to disturb a life saved. The second. The Vergara family was still strong in 1907. The Mercado family was still strong. The Almonte family was still strong. Padre Salvador had died in 1900. His successor was a Mercado nephew. To speak the sentence was to endanger Carmen. To endanger our future children. The third. I was a Vergara through my sister's marriage. My name was on the parish ledger as kin of Tomas Vergara. I had eaten at the cacique table. I had not known what I was eating. But I had eaten it. Liling died of fever in 1908. I attended her funeral. I did not speak. I stood at the back of the procession. I held the iron salt bag in my coat pocket. I had carried it there since 1900. My mother had given it to me with one instruction. She said, keep this where you sleep. She did not say why. The cacique families did not collapse from justice. They collapsed from war. In 1942 the Japanese came to Cebu. The Almonte lost their 2 sons within a year. The Mercado lost their eldest son to fever in a camp. The Mercado lost their 2nd son in the highlands. The Vergara lost their holdings in the post-war land reform. Their tile roofs fell in by 1948. Their parish ledgers burned in 1944 when the church burned. Padre Salvador's records went up with everything else. Manila changed too. The procurer's house on Calle del Rosario was bombed in 1945. I learned this in 1947 from a distant cousin. He had walked Binondo looking for the address. He found a vacant lot with broken tile. He told me this without knowing why I wanted to know. Carmen and I raised 4 children in the same barrio. We did not move. We did not speak the sentence. Carmen died in 1951 of natural causes. She never asked me why I kept the salt bag under our mat. I think she knew. I never asked her if she did. The Republic of the Philippines was founded in 1946. The Cebu Cultural Heritage Bureau was established in 1955. Their work was the recording of oral histories. Their researchers walked the hills with notebooks and wax cylinders. A young woman named Ida Reyes came to Tipolo in early 1958. She asked about the disappearances of the 1880s and 1890s. She asked about the Manananggal stories. She asked the older men what they remembered. Most of the older men told her the folklore. I was the oldest. I told her I would come to Cebu City. I told her I would speak at the bureau. I told her I would bring the salt bag. I walked from Tipolo to Cebu City over 3 days. I was 67. I had not left the barrio in 14 years. The salt bag was in a satchel at my side. The slip of paper with the Manila address was inside it. I had not opened the bag in 58 years. I did not open it on the road. I sat at the bureau recording table one February morning. Ida Reyes set the wax cylinder. She asked me to begin from the beginning. I began from the doorway. I have told you the night. I have told you the morning. I have told you the 11 names. I have told you the 3 families. I have told you Liling's sentence. I have told you my silence. There is one thing left. What did I see on the rooftop above Ines's hut? I have asked myself this question for 65 years. I have lived through 4 wars and 3 regimes. I have buried a wife and watched 4 children grow. I have not answered the question. I will offer 3 possibilities. I will not choose among them. I am 67. I am not equipped to choose. Possibility 1. My sister became the Manananggal. The iron in the bag and the child in her body. Her decision to stand between Ines and the 2 strangers. These 3 things combined in a way the protection had not foreseen. The salt bag was meant to keep the entity out. On the 6th night, the salt bag let the entity in. My sister became the thing she had walked to ward off. I do not know if this is what I saw. Possibility 2. My sister called the Manananggal. Liling had taught her the older prayer. The prayer the parish had suppressed for 300 years. The prayer that summoned the entity to its proper traditional function. Not to feed on pregnant women. To protect them. From human predators. From men who used the entity's reputation as their cover. I do not know if this is what I saw. Possibility 3. My sister pretended to be the Manananggal. She tore the thatch herself. She lit a phosphorus flare. She knew her father-in-law's network. She knew the procurer's schedule. She put burn-shaped objects in the stranger's palms. She walked out of Tipolo through the eastern forest. She lived somewhere in the Cebu hills under another name. She is buried under that other name. I do not know if this is what I saw. Pablo does not select. The cylinder turns. Ida Reyes does not interrupt. The salt bag is on the table. I have not opened it. I will not open it now. I am 67. I am not sure she did not become it. I am not sure she did not call it. I am not sure she did not become her own ghost. 3 sentences. 3 possibilities. 1 sister. 1 doorway. 1 barrio. 1 iron salt bag. 1 brother. 8 years old. Then 67. What I saw from the doorway. I have brought it here. I leave it with you.